I want to say something about my mama. Your mama dead as Your mama dead as Go dig her up. Go dig her up.
But man, when you start talking about people's deceased parents, you crossing a line that's hard to come back from.
50 Cent just pushed a button in King Harris that had the whole internet acting wild. The moment that post hit the timeline, people already knew something messy was about to happen. Then King jumped on Instagram Live and completely snapped, going off with zero hesitation and zero chill, and just when the drama looked like it could not get louder, Boosie stepped in with serious smoke.
I want to say something about my mama. Your mama dead as Your mama dead as Go dig her up.
But the crazy part is this, King and T, I probably were not ready for what Boosie was about to say next. The situation kept getting bigger, louder, and way more personal than anyone expected. Now look, there are certain lines you just do not cross in hip-hop. People clown each other's music all the time. They joke about hairlines, outfits, streaming numbers, and whatever else the internet decides to laugh about.
It's a picture of your mama, because she dead. Pay respect. Stop playing with my mama. Playing like that. Going like
that kind of talk has always been part of the culture, and most artists know how to handle it. But there has always been one rule that almost everybody respects. Even the most reckless figures in the game usually understand this one simple code. When two artists are beefing, the issue stays between them. Families stay out of it, especially wives and mothers. That line has been respected for decades in rap battles. Then, February 22nd, 2026 came around, and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson made a move that shocked a lot of people.
how y'all raised. I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going back my mom. I'm not going.
In front of millions of followers online, he posted a picture of T.Y.'s wife, Tameka Tiny Harris, with a caption that many people felt crossed the line. The message was basically telling her to stay out of grown folks' business, but the way it was done came off extremely disrespectful.
But man, when you start talking about people's deceased parents,
this was not a slick subliminal or a quiet jab either. It was direct, public, and impossible to ignore. Tiny was not even part of the argument between 50 and T.I., yet suddenly she was right in the middle of the storm. The moment that post went up, the situation started spinning out of control, because the first person who saw it and reacted immediately was T.Y. and Tiny's 21-year-old son, King Harris.
So tell your dad mama dig her ass up and post a picture that look better than my mama.
And he did not sit back quietly. He did not wait for his father to step in or try to calm things down behind the scenes. King jumped straight onto Instagram Live and started firing back while thousands of people watched it happen in real time. The internet practically froze as viewers tuned in to see what he would say next. King was heated, speaking fast, and clearly letting everybody know he felt his family had been disrespected.
Straight like that. Your son don't love you. You don't got no family.
In a matter of minutes, the whole beef shifted into dangerous territory. King went straight for one of the most sensitive chapters in 50 Cent's life. He brought up Sabrina Jackson, 50's mother, who tragically passed away in a house fire when 50 was only 8 years old. That loss has always been known as one of the deepest scars in 50's story. Hearing that topic brought up during a public rant made people instantly uncomfortable.
Love. You rich, but you not love. Money means nothing without no one to spend it with. Your son don't love you.
Even fans watching the live stream could feel the tension rising. But King did not slow down at all. The young man from Atlanta kept the same energy the entire time. No filter, no hesitation, just pure emotion pouring out during the live stream.
About my mama. At the end, I don't play about my mama. I'm just how I'm raised, nigga. I wasn't raised by y'all father. My dad is T.I.P. Tip. That's how I'm raised. I don't play like this.
Thousands of viewers were watching the moment unfold live, and every sentence made the situation more intense. King basically said, if somebody wants to post pictures of another person's mother online, then they should post their own too. Then he pointed out that 50 could not do that because his mother is no longer here. The moment those words came out, the internet reaction was immediate and loud. That kind of comment makes the entire room go quiet. It instantly changes the tone of a beef and pushes things into a much more personal lane. King kept repeating one main point during the rant. He said the way he was raised would never allow him to sit back quietly while someone disrespected his mother.
first off, you gotta understand where King coming from. That's his mama, man.
In his mind, defending family was non-negotiable. He made it clear that growing up under T.I.'s guidance taught him to stand firm when it comes to family respect. The message he was sending was simple and loud enough for everyone online to hear. Then he delivered what sounded like a warning. King was letting 50 and anyone connected to him know they made a serious mistake by bringing that kind of energy toward the Harris family. But he still was not finished.
Can't be out here playing with a man mama and think it's just gonna be rappers.
King then brought up another topic that people in hip-hop already know is sensitive for 50 Cent. His relationship with his son, Marquise Jackson. That situation has been public for years, with their fallout playing out across interviews and social media posts. By bringing it up, King clearly knew exactly where the pressure points were.
King of YN, he got that fire in it, and he let it be known he ain't going.
He suggested that no amount of money, TV deals, movie projects, or business success means much if someone ends up isolated from family. That statement alone made the situation feel even more personal.
You got 50 Cent posting pictures of Tiny on his Instagram, trolling.
At that point, the beef was no longer about rap arguments or internet jokes. It had turned into something much deeper and much more emotional. Then King circled back to his own background. He talked about where he comes from and why he stands so strongly on family respect. In his mind, defending his mother was something he had to do. But the drama did not stay on social media.
Telling people to keep his name out their mouth. 50 been a menace on the internet since the internet started.
On February 24th, 2026, King Harris took things a step further and went into the studio. He recorded a full diss track and dropped it on major streaming platforms under the title Man. The music video added even more attention to the moment. It was shot inside a parking garage filled with flashy foreign cars, while King stood in a red hoodie and beanie delivering his lines with confidence. One of the bars included the line, "Speaking on my mama, I tell Chaz, ring the alarm." Probably cross his legs and fold his arms.
We know how he do. But King took it to a whole different level of disrespect.
And he delivered it like he meant every word. King even stirred more conversation by sharing an old explicit photo that appeared to show 50 Cent holding an adult toy. He posted it on his story and added the hashtag #NoAI to make it clear he believed the image was real. At that point, it looked like King Harris had gone all the way in. No backing down, no quiet exit, just full-speed confrontation while the internet watched every second.
Because he felt like 50 was trying to play his mama like she wasn't a legend.
And once the story exploded across social media, people across the hip-hop world started reacting. When drama gets this loud, everybody suddenly has something to say. Fans were debating, blogs were posting non-stop updates, and even other rappers started sharing their opinions. One of the loudest voices to jump into the conversation was Boosie.
Talking about, your mama dead as go dig that bitch up.
And when he started talking about the situation, things got even more serious. Your barber got an opinion. The guy at the gas station rocking old school FUBU got an opinion too. When drama like this explodes in hip-hop, everybody suddenly becomes a commentator overnight. But some voices carry way more weight than others. And one voice the culture was really waiting to hear was Boosie Badazz. Boosie is not just another internet personality chasing views or clicks.
That's some heavy, dark shit to be saying. Telling a to go put flowers on a grave.
This is somebody who really lived the life he talks about. A man who went through serious struggles, spent time inside the Louisiana prison system, and built his reputation by standing on street principles. Boosie has never been the type to hold back his thoughts, no matter who might feel uncomfortable hearing them. So when Boosie finally sat down and spoke on the King Harris and 50 Cent situation, people across the culture started paying attention immediately. The first thing Boosie did was recognize why King was so angry in the first place. He did not brush the young man off or call him foolish. Instead, he acknowledged the emotion behind the reaction. In Boosie's eyes, the situation started with one simple reality.
Honestly, what his wife got to do with anything? You know, the family thing, it's just weird. Them two brothers got a problem. It's like, all right, keep going at each other if that's what y'all gonna do.
A person's mother is sacred territory. Whether someone grows up in the hood, the suburbs, or anywhere else, that kind of respect usually stays the same. Mothers represent family, loyalty, and the people who raised you. Boosie made it clear that once somebody crosses that family line, the entire situation changes instantly. At that point, the conversation is no longer about music, jokes, or internet trolling. It becomes personal, and personal problems move very differently than business disagreements. Boosie explained that when family gets dragged into the situation, the rules of rap beef stop working the same way. Now emotions are involved, now pride and loyalty come into play. That type of energy can escalate much faster than people expect. He even gave King Harris some credit. Boosie respected the fact that the young man stood up for his family and showed loyalty to his mother. But then Boosie's tone started to shift a little, because even though he understood why King reacted, he could not fully support the way things were said. Boosie also made it clear where the situation really started. According to him, the spark came from 50 Cent, bringing Tiny Harris into a beef that had nothing to do with her. In Boosie's view, that was the moment the fire got lit. He also spoke about something many fans have noticed for years. 50 Cent has built a reputation online as one of the most aggressive trolls in hip-hop. For over 2 decades, he has taken shots at artists like Ja Rule, Rick Ross, The Game, Fat Joe, and plenty of others.
But the moment you bring somebody's family into it, it gets crazy. So I totally understand why King went off, you know what I mean?
The strategy has always been similar. Push people online until they react, then flip their reaction into more content for the internet. But in this case, Boosie pointed out that King Harris responded with a level of intensity that even the internet was not expecting. Boosie described the moment as a whole different level. And coming from someone like Boosie, who has never been shy about speaking his mind, that statement carried serious weight. King clearly felt like he was defending his mother's name and protecting his family's reputation. He wanted the world to understand that Tiny Harris was not someone people could joke about just to get attention online.
I'll be honest with you. I got 54 on you right now. It's not a good look for you, brother.
But while defending that respect, Boosie believed King stepped into extremely dangerous territory. When Boosie repeated some of the words King said, you could almost feel the weight of it hanging in the air. The moment felt heavy, serious, and uncomfortable even in the retelling. Then Boosie dropped one powerful observation that summed up the entire situation. There has always been a line in hip-hop disagreements, and once someone crosses that line by bringing up a person's late mother, the situation moves into a place where apologies and peace talks might not fix anything. At that point, the beef is no longer entertainment for the internet. Now it becomes something deeper, something emotional, and something the culture knows can spiral fast if cooler heads do not step in. Boosie made one thing very clear when he spoke on the situation. In his eyes, the damage from this whole exchange might already be permanent. He also pointed out something many people online were starting to notice. This whole situation was a massive mismatch. King Harris stepped into a battle with 50 Cent, a man who has built his entire reputation around winning internet wars.
You crossing a line that's hard to come back from. He telling 50 to put the music up and stop playing.
For more than 2 decades, 50 has mastered the art of turning arguments into viral moments. And the wild part is this: 50 does not even have to win with bars or music. All he has to do is turn you into a meme. Once the internet starts laughing, the battle is basically finished. He has been doing that since the early days of social media, long before King Harris was even old enough to be part of online culture. But Boosie was not just warning King about 50's trolling skills, he was talking about real-life consequences. Boosie said that if King kept moving with the same reckless energy, it could eventually lead to serious trouble. He was not saying it to be dramatic either. Boosie was speaking from experience. He even brought up advice he had already given his own son, Tootie Raw.
Ask me, it's a mess. You got the South Prince, in a way, T.I.'s son, going at a billionaire mogul.
Boosie explained that he had told his son, his son's mother, and even his grandmother that reckless behavior always leads to the same ending. Sooner or later, the consequences show up. That sounded less like commentary and more like a warning from someone who has already seen how fast situations can spiral. But the drama somehow got even messier, because Boosie's own son, Tootie Raw, decided to jump into the situation too. He posted messages aimed directly at King Harris, warning him to stay in his lane, and King Harris did not let that slide at all. King fired back at Boosie himself, questioning why he felt the need to step into the situation in the first place. Just like that, the beef started expanding. Now it was not just about 50 Cent and T.I. anymore. Boosie's camp had suddenly been pulled right into the middle of the chaos. And what made Boosie's involvement even more complicated is the history between him and T.I. In past interviews, Boosie had already accused T.I. of cooperating with law enforcement during a previous case. He even claimed there was paperwork connected to it. So Boosie was definitely not a neutral referee in this situation. There was already tension there. But even with that history, Boosie still believed one thing very strongly. Dragging family members into a rap beef crosses a serious line. That is why his opinion carried so much weight in the conversation. He could criticize everyone involved while still recognizing why emotions exploded the way they did. And when people looked at how all this started, it made the situation even crazier. Because this entire conflict originally came from something much simpler. For years, T.I. had been challenging 50 Cent to a versus battle, a simple 20-song versus battle between two legendary catalogs. But every time T.I. brought it up, 50 refused and responded with trolling online. Eventually, the tension kept building until one moment pushed everything too far. When family members got dragged into the argument, the situation stopped being entertainment for the internet. Now it had turned into something much more personal, and the entire hip-hop world was watching it unfold in real time. Joe Budden also jumped into the conversation, and he had a lot to say about how the situation played out. He admitted he actually respected the way T.I. responded to 50 Cent. According to Budden, T.I.'s diss tracks were basically the cheat code for dealing with someone like 50, because the one thing 50 has never really liked dealing with is a strong musical response. Budden explained that 50's trolling strategy usually works when the other person reacts emotionally online. When somebody starts arguing back and forth on social media, 50 knows exactly how to flip that into entertainment. But when an artist steps into the studio and answers with real bars, the game changes completely. At that point, the focus moves back to music, and that is where trolling loses its power. Still, Budden also raised a serious concern that a lot of people in the culture were thinking about. He questioned whether the beef had already gone way too far. Once deceased family members get brought into the argument, things become extremely difficult to fix. Budden said that once a line like that gets crossed, real reconciliation becomes almost impossible. Angela Yee also covered the entire situation on her Way Up with Yee platform. She kept her tone mostly neutral, but highlighted some important details people were talking about. One thing she pointed out was how quickly King Harris jumped into the situation after 50 restarted the Harris family drama by posting Tiny. But she also shared an interesting detail that many people overlooked. At one point, 50 Cent quietly started removing all T.I. related posts from his Instagram page. To some observers, that move looked a lot like a small step backward after the situation exploded. Meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson, who hosted T.I. on their Nightcap podcast where the versus conversation came back up, also reacted to how everything escalated. On their show, they talked about the Tiny post, King's response, and the growing tension between both sides. They kept the discussion entertaining, but you could still hear the caution in their voices. Because what started as competitive rap talk suddenly began feeling like something much more serious. And that brings us to where things currently stand as of February 26, 2026. King Harris's diss track, Man, is gaining traction across streaming platforms. T.I. is still teasing more music aimed at 50. 50 Cent has wiped most of the T.I. content from his page, but continues throwing subtle jabs in the background. Boosie already gave his opinion and somehow ended up pulled into a side beef with King in the process. Meanwhile, the entire hip-hop world is watching the situation unfold like a reality show nobody expected, but everybody keeps checking for updates, and the same question keeps popping up everywhere. Comment sections, podcasts, barbershops, everywhere. It is the same question Boosie asked during his interview, when a rap beef reaches the point where people start bringing up someone's late parents. Where do you go from there? Because in hip-hop, disrespect is nothing new. Artists throw shots all the time. But there are certain lines that once crossed cannot simply be erased. No quick phone call fixes it. No friendly meeting smooths it over. Once that level of disrespect enters the conversation, the damage sticks around. And everyone involved, King Harris, T.I., 50 Cent, and even Boosie, knows that bringing up someone's late mother is a line that rarely has a way back. If you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who follows hip-hop news. More stories like this are coming soon.